Mixtape is a narrative adventure about one last wild night before everything changes. Sadly, we don't get a Mac port, but the good news is there are a bunch of great workarounds that I tested on my M3 Max MacBook Pro and will tell you about in the next minutes. I'll start with the two best methods, then cover the other valid solutions that worked for me. But before you choose which one you want, you'll have to buy the game. To help you, we'll leave links in the description to where you can purchase it, and we'll also add links to discounts when such are available. Now let's get to the ways to play it. Here are the two methods that gave us best results. Crossover is hands down the best non-cloud method to play Windows games on Mac in 2026. It will give you the ability to play anywhere you want without internet limitations, and scales better with newer Macs. But you're not going to get anywhere near the graphical fidelity or performance you'll have with cloud solutions. Also, with this method, you can use mods for single-player games, and there's a 14-day free trial. Crossover is the best local option, period. On my 36GB M3 Max MacBook Pro, I ran it without a problem and without needing any extra tinkering, and got around 60 FPS at 1920 by 1200 medium-high settings. For a narrative-driven game, Mixtape is surprisingly demanding, so there were some FPS dips during heavier outdoor scenes and cinematics, but it was still fine. I'd say that a sensible Apple Silicon baseline for this game would be at least an M1 or M2 Pro with 16 gigs. The main performance limitations here are scaling softness, possible shader stutter, and the fact that future crossover updates could change the result. But overall, crossover works very well here, so I definitely recommend it. To use crossover, click the link in the description, enter your email, and download the app. Then, after you install crossover, you must click the Try Now option for the 14-day trial. If you need a longer tutorial, visit our video on that. Just note that the experience with crossover can sometimes vary between updates, so don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to break the game. If this happens, check our site for the detailed instructions, or you'll have to research this on your own. The second method we recommend is called Boosteroid, and it's the cheapest cloud gaming service that's actually any good. This is the most plug-and-play solution that we found. The main draw of Boosteroid and cloud gaming in general is that your machine doesn't matter so long as you can supply it with around 40 megabits of stable internet. You can crank up everything to max even in 4K, and you should be more than fine. If you don't mind cloud gaming, Boosteroid is a great fit for Mixtape because of the surprisingly heavy lighting and stylized effects this game has. As mentioned before, this is actually a pretty heavy game, so streaming it from a remote rig makes a lot of sense. With Boosteroid, your Mac doesn't have to care about system requirements. You just stream the Windows version and let the remote machine do the hard work. You can expect a clean, high-quality stream, and if your connection is stable, this is the most painless way to see the game at its best. The caveat is the usual cloud one. If your internet dips, skating scenes and quick camera movement can show compression blur. The good thing is that latency won't matter much here because of the more laid-back, narrative-driven nature of the title. So Boosteroid is a pretty decent option if your Mac isn't too powerful, or if you simply want the quickest, simplest method. All you have to do to start gaming is follow the link in the description, register for the service, and buy a subscription. Then just search for the game and click play. It's all pretty easy, but we have a how-to tutorial if you need it, and an overview of the service if you want something more in-depth to make up your mind. Now here are some in-game settings adjustments to help you improve the game's performance if you are playing it locally. These tweaks can also help you lower image compression if you are streaming it through the cloud. For Mixtape, start with 3D resolution scale at 85%, shadows on medium, and motion blur off. Those are the cleanest changes when indoor scenes or fast skating moments start to feel uneven. Keep global illumination on high first, then lower it only if you still need help. For further performance gains, feel free to apply the rest of the suggested settings. The other methods are a variation of this theme. xCloud is Microsoft's cloud solution, and it's by far the worst of the cloud solutions mentioned here, but it comes with the benefit of being free if you subscribe to Game Pass. AirGPU is the rent a gaming PC by the hour option. You buy credit, spin up a Windows machine, then stream it through Parsec or Moonlight. You pay by the hour and prices vary depending on what machine you rent, but the average is around $1. Then you also need to pay for local storage, which is $3.50 per month per 50 gigabytes with a minimum of 100 gigs. Shadow PC is the subscription version of the same idea, where the lowest monthly subscription fee is $34 for US users, and it only goes up from there. EU users get a cheaper plan option that costs €20 per month, but that's still more than twice the monthly fee for Boosteroid's base plan. Sikarugir is the free DIY version of Crossover. It works great when it works, but it's more inconsistent, less intuitive, and has a lengthy setup. As for the setup, you first need to install Homebrew, then Sikarugir itself, then Steam, and then the actual game. The process takes a bit more time compared to the other methods here, and so is beyond the scope of this video. For detailed guidance on how to set up Sikarugir, just click the respective video in the description and it will show you exactly what to do. Here's how I think about the options for Mixtape. Crossover is the best local route if you want to play without relying on internet quality. It becomes more viable the stronger your Mac is, but isn't great for weaker machines. Boosteroid is the other variant we recommend, especially if your hardware would struggle to run the game locally. It lets you experience the full visual splendor of the game without worrying about performance, but it's heavily dependent on your internet speed and stability. Xbox Cloud Gaming is also valid, especially if you already have the right Game Pass plan and you're fine with the more console-style experience. The downside is that you're not getting the same PC-style flexibility, and the stream ceiling is lower than the higher-end cloud options. Shadow PC and AirGPU are also both decent options for this game, and their flexibility means you can customize the entire experience to fit your exact hardware preferences. However, the end result won't be that much different compared to Boosteroid, so only go for these two if you really care about having more cloud customization options at your disposal. Sikarugir is the free DIY version of Crossover. It also works, but with less polish, less handholding, and more troubleshooting. So my simple recommendation is this: choose Crossover for the best local solution, Boosteroid for the easiest experience, and xCloud if you are already subscribed to Game Pass. Leave Sikarugir, Shadow PC, and AirGPU as backup options. So these were the best methods for playing this game. If you want to explore more popular gaming titles you can play on your Mac, check the videos that should now appear on your screen, or simply browse through our channel. Also, if you found this content helpful, we'd greatly appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you in the next one.